Clyde!
Stop!
Clyde!
Stop!
Even if the aquatic could have heard my husband and I, he would not have listened. Shoving past us, he abandoned the safety of the enclosure for the danger of the room beyond. He leapt over the fallen form of May and charged Troxel. The woman did not hesitate to open fire upon him, spending what remained of her pistol. Clyde had given his shield to Joseph, so he had no defense save his own shell armor and breathing apparatus, neither of which turned aside the flight of Troxel's bullets. He took every last one. The final round glanced off his helmet, but left it cracked and leaking. Somewhere along the way, he lost grip on his harpoon and it fell clattering to the floor. But Clyde kept running. The aquatic was unstoppable. Reaching Troxel, he took a firm hold on her with his long, webbed hands. Before she could retaliate, he delivered a forceful headbutt that stunned her. Then he did so again, and again, smashing his already fractured helmet against her own. If he kept at it, he would completely shatter the sphere. But that was exactly what he intended. Then he got his way. His helmet burst open and all the water inside gushed out, drenching them both. Clyde was already riddled with nearly a dozen mortal wounds, but now he was suffocating as well. Why had he wanted this? To be free of the apparatus, of course. Clyde's dying act was to widen his massive jaws and clamp them over the head of Troxel. His multiple rows of serrated teeth cut first through her helmet, then through her skull. Suddenly, all that water pouring down them both was reddened. Our foe was vanquished, and our friend with her. Both pitched over, joining the ever-growing number of dead upon the floor. Troxel would be replaced. Clyde never would be. She would be forgotten. He never would be. This stunning display shocked everyone who saw it. Only Piper thought to act on the distraction. She dashed from the aquarium as Clyde had, but not on a suicide mission. No, she went to grab May and drag her back into our makeshift fortress. Seeing this, the soldiers took aim, but so did I. To cover them, to protect their return, I spent the last that my zapper had to offer. I confess that I did not aim low or wide, but took deadly shots. It wasn't a lot. I had only a few particle beams, a few bolts of lightning left to throw, but it was enough. Piper got May into the aquarium again and left her with Xiao and the bard at the back. With my zapper now permanently depleted, I threw it away and raised my shield when Joseph did. Piper was quick to rejoin us. Then, with nothing more to stay the Cabal's forces, they came at us. We had ourselves a firefight. This is the Endless Elsewhere podcast. Chapter 30. The Bloodbath.
Xiao, bring that shield up here.
No! Stay back there. Put pressure on her wound.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have anything to. I don't know what to do.
Xiao, bring the backpack. I need another mag.
Xiao, shield, now.
Lindsay, replace him.
Okay.
But
Let's go, Doc.
Xiao came slowly, fearfully forward. We could hardly blame him. The scientist had never been in a battle before. He slipped off his backpack and set it down beside Piper. Then he raised the shield timidly. When there was a break in the gunfire, he took my place beside Joseph. With some help, that is. When I stepped back, Xiao hesitated, so Joseph grabbed the man and pulled him forward. But for all his terror, the scientist held both his shield and his ground. Now free, I dashed to May, dropping my own bullet-dimpled shield so that I could press both hands over her wound.
May, can you hear me? Come on, wake up. Wake up, May!
I've got to get another mag.
Do it. Go on then.
Oh, that's not nearly enough.
What?
Ammo. It's mostly just your stupid books in here.
What do we do?
Where is this magic portal of yours?
Any minute now.
We don't have a minute. Look, they're pushing in.
We are going to die, aren't we?
Hold your place, Xiao. Lindsay, send the bard up here. We have to plug this open.
Go, help them.
The gates of mercy shall be all shut up, and the fleshed soldier, rough and hard of heart, in liberty of bloody hand, shall range with conscience wide as hell.
Just go.
They're gonna try to rush us. Be ready for...
He's awake.
As they advanced upon us, the Legion had been streaming safely around the unconscious Og. But then, to their horror, he sat up suddenly among them, and just as suddenly, he went berserk. The giant snatched the nearest trooper and held him overhead. Then, taking an end of his prey in either hand, Og ripped the soldier in half, showering himself in the blood and viscera of his victim. I hadn't seen someone bisected since Bruce, and if there is never a third occasion, I will be grateful. Tossing away the cleaved wreckage that had once been a man, Og then went to work on whoever else he could. Just as before, the soldiers refused to fight back. Instead, they repeated their action from earlier and attempted to recede from his reach. Once again, they did so with mixed success. The soldiers, in clearing a space around him, also cleared Og's view of us in the aquarium. I don't think the Cabal's Legion had done this purposefully, to remind the monster who it was he truly wanted to massacre, but the result was the same. His evil eyes peered through the clear walls of the enclosure with odious intent. Obviously, the tranquilizer had been adequate enough to bring him down, but not to keep him there. However, with the drug still in his system, and with control of his fabricated body still far from mastered, the abomination could not stand. After a couple of failed attempts, the creature then set to drag himself toward us, to crawl on his belly, which somehow made for an even more terrifying approach. And the soldiers, of course, let him do so, content to stand back and let Og complete their task for them. It took the giant little time to reach the enclosure, and even less time to puncture it. The abomination reared back and punched through our defenses. The bard absorbed the majority of the blow, but the shields that flanked him took a sizable amount as well. The power behind the strike was sufficient to throw the men back. They crashed into Piper and all fell to the floor. Before they could recover, the clone pulled himself closer to the now hollow doorway and reached inside. His enormous hand curled around the first of us he could get a hold on. Xiao was unfortunately selected. Og then attempted to pluck him from the aquarium. I had been reminded of Bruce a moment ago, and now, Remy. I flashed back to atop the Midnight Lightning, when our friend was seized in the crushing grip of a Nephilim. As he did then, Joseph leapt atop the arm to stay it. My husband's size, considerable as it is, was not enough to stop Og. He and Xiao both would have been pulled from the enclosure had the bard not just then rolled to the rescue. The mechanical man had no sooner gotten himself upright than he trundled his cleated spear onto the outstretched arm of the giant, crushing it under his tremendous weight. Even with his arm pinned and broken, Og refused to release Xiao, who was now screaming in the agony of the six-fingered vice. We'd seen the power of these hands and knew our companion did not have long. With Og's arm held down under the bard and Joseph, Piper went to work instead upon the hand, first trying to pull Xiao free of it, then trying to pry back the fingers. Both were failures.
Lindsay, help!
What do I do?
Your lightning.
What?
Use your...
May, you're awake. What did you say? What did she say?
She said use your lightning.
I don't have to zap her anymore.
The sword! Lindsay, the sword!
I'd forgotten it was even there. I'd carried the weapon all day and had long since acclimated to its weight upon my back. What were a few more pounds on top of all of this armor? Maybe it had slipped my mind because I had not sheathed it there. Jonas had. He'd told me to remember that when my lightning weapon failed, I had one last bolt of it still. I had not remembered. But now, reminded, I drew the metallic bolt from my scabbard. It was larger and heavier than any other sword I had wielded, yet I mustered my strength and hoisted it aloft, ready to swing it down upon the giant's arm to sever it. Looking to the doorway, however, where Ogg's head and shoulder had jammed into the narrow space, I turned my jagged blade there instead. I charged with the sword outstretched and thrust the point of it into the face of our foe. I buried it deep into the left eye of Ogg. Not deep enough to connect with brain matter, regrettably. The skulls of his kind are dense, and I got no further than the socket. While it had not been a fatal blow, it was enough to force Ogg into retreat, and he could only withdraw if he relinquished Xiao. Once he'd released our friend, Joseph and the bard released the giant. Ogg recoiled from the enclosure, flopping clamorously upon his back in a fit of anguish, a tantrum of rage for the blow I had delivered. The surrounding infantry did not attack us, not yet. They waited to move in, to see what Ogg would do next. They didn't want to get in his way again.
Xiao, are you...
Piper, grab him. Get him away from the... You, watch the door. Don't let anyone through.
Put in their hands thy bruising irons of wrath, that they may crush down with heavy fall the usurping helmets of our adversaries.
What?
You put sharp weapons in a madman's hands.
Oh, yes. Lindsay, give him the sword.
I handed off my sword to the bard. Then Joseph, reclaiming it from the floor, did so with his shield. The robot was clad in strange armor. Now he was armed likewise. He rolled into the doorway, ready to confront anyone foolish enough to approach it. I wondered if the mechanical man would be spared as the giant was. The robot, like the clone, was very important to the Cabal. Maybe they wouldn't risk destroying it. They hadn't held back last time, though, so it was a faint hope at best. Joseph grabbed the backpack and slung it around his own shoulders. Then he and I rushed to the back of the enclosure where, beside May, Piper had dragged Xiao. She now sat on the floor with the doctor lying in her arms. He had a trickle of blood at either corner of his mouth, and both eyes had hemorrhaged. The bloodshot pair darted about in a panic. He was struggling to breathe. Ogg had let go of the man, but not before giving him a fatal wrenching. Piper already knew what the rest of us wouldn't realize until the following moment. Xiao was dying.
I'll tell you my name now. My real name, if you still want to know.
I already know.
What?
Whoever you were before now, that person's gone. Your name is Piper.
Dr. Bingwen Zhao, whose brilliant mind and innocent curiosity, which had ignited this podcast, this entire story, really, breathed his last. He went still in Piper's arms. She moved him gently aside, but in the time it took her to rise up again, Piper was emotionless.
Piper,
Don't. There's no time. Here they come.
Like Xiao, Ogg had gone still. But we knew better than to hope that the giant was truly dead. It seemed more likely that he'd gone into some kind of shock from blood loss. Whatever the cause, he'd remained still long enough for the Cabal's army to advance again, to pass him by safely. They closed in around us, inching toward the doorway, toward the bard. Our last stand was about to end, as all last stands do.
These eyes that see thee now, well-colored, shall see thee withered, bloody, pale, and dead.
Look out!
His shield and breastplate held firm, deflecting the majority of their gunfire. However, a couple of their rounds got past the bard and ricocheted around the confining walls of the aquarium. Despite the armor we both wore, Joseph, on reflex, pushed me behind him to protect me. My husband would not be able to stop all the bullets any more than the bard could. The robot was enduring the punishment, but he was starting to take damage he could not afford. But I had my answer now. Apparently, the Pendergast cosmic ray engine wasn't as important as stopping us. Or maybe there was something else they desired even more, and it was about to appear.
There it is! Jonas is opening the portal.
It's about flipping time, dude. Joseph, get May.
Yeah, I got her.
Take her through. I'll grab the bard. Piper, go.
No, leave him. He's gotta hold him back so we can... Lindsay, come on!
Let go of me.
I'm not losing anyone else.
Piper was stronger than she looked and dragged me through the blazing tunnel. We emerged from the other side, blinded, as was typical. I raised my hand to my eyes, trying to adjust them quickly. Through a squint, I saw Joseph a ways out, still holding May, but only for a moment more. The Feowick sisters rushed to him. The Ariels threw down their shields, then drew their swords to do the same. They were shedding unnecessary weight before taking May into their collective grasp. The trio flew my amalgam sister out of the canyon where they could heal her at a safe distance. I breathed easier and nodded in relief, watching them go. I soon lost sight of the winged women over the rim of the ravine. My eyes remained skyward, however, seeing that a bit of daylight remained, but not a ray of it reached into this pit. If not for the emerald light of the portal, it would have been black as midnight down here. The sun was setting, the time of the rendezvous. Jonas Gentry, as promised, had reopened the doorway. He stood awaiting us, the orb in his outstretched hand. His head was turned over his shoulder, though. He, too, had watched his wife and her sisters fly Maevalesse from the scene. And when he brought his face back around, I saw dismay and fear for his pseudo-daughter.
You have had trouble. Where is...
I didn't make it.
And who is this? You've brought a friend. Or did she bring you?
You wanna let go now?
Yeah, sorry.
Jonas, this is Piper. Her name is Piper.
I gave her a look as I said this. Xiao was right. Whoever she had been before, that person was gone. There was only this woman now, the one we knew, our friend.
It is a pleasure.
Yeah, me too. I read your book. Really good. Oh, hey, could we close the portal now?
Oh, yes, of course.
No, not yet. The bard is still there.
The bard? You found the... He was there? At the...
Yeah, not sure how, but they got a hold of him, so we stole him back.
Why did he not come with you?
He stayed behind to...
The Cabal's forces had gotten around the bard by now, but smartly sent a volley of bullets ahead of them through the portal to clear their way. It was my turn to grab Piper. I put her behind me to protect her from all the rounds that came at us. The force of the impact was still enough to topple us. This was also true for Jonas, who was clad in his own strange old armor. However, when the tall man fell, he lost hold of the orb and it went clattering off. Just as he turned to crawl after it, the vanguard of the coming invaders appeared through the portal. It was to them that all of us, had to turn our attention. Here it was, the nightmare scenario we had dreaded. The The doorway between worlds now stood wide open to our enemy. Yes, we dreaded this, but we'd also planned for it. That's when our contingency went into effect. From where they'd been lying in wait, hiding amid the boulders on the canyon floor, the aquatics came rushing in. They ran fearlessly forward, their harpoons upheld, to meet the soldiers at the portal's edge. Blinded as they were by passing through the wormhole, the Cabal's legion was caught by surprise and cut down. This bought the rest of us only a moment. We regained our feet and began a frantic search for the orb, but it was nowhere to be seen. The vessel was usually glowing, making it an easy find, but the luminous power it contained had been released to form the portal. And, ironically, the emerald light by which we were hunting for it made the orb even harder to spot, as it bathed everything in the same effulgent shade of green. So there was no differentiating the metallic hue of the orb from the myriad rocks in this gorge. Also, I'm pretty sure the vessel got kicked off into the distance somewhere when the aquatics made their charge. There was no finding it.
Why is the portal still open?
We lost the orb! Do you see it anywhere?
They'll be here any minute.
We have to find it.
There's no time.
Into the breach, my friends.
What?
The doorway. It is our only advantage. They will be bottlenecked, their number lessened in its strength. We must not let them through. They cannot be allowed to get past us, or we will be surrounded and overcome.
Here, take these.
Joseph was bearing all the Feowick sisters' discarded shields and swords. He picked them off the ground before rejoining us. My husband and I took one of each, offering the third set to Piper. She declined and went instead for her weapon of choice. Or weapons. Like she had before, our friend quickly stripped the dead soldiers of their firearms. She tucked the smaller ones away while draping the larger around her shoulders by their straps. I knew Jonas had been a soldier once, but he did not take up any of the guns. I assumed they were a little too advanced for a man who had not waged earthly war in a century. But Joseph told me later that Jonas had taken an oath to never touch a firearm again. Still, he had given his bolt of lightning to me and I to the bard, leaving him defenseless. So it was Jonas who took up the last sword and shield. While he did this, and while the aquatics fell in with us to form a line of defense, Piper began to unload into the portal, using our enemy's own tactic against them. It wasn't enough to dissuade the rest of them from coming through, however. Besides, they had the numbers to spare. If the Cabal was willing to sacrifice several lives to Og, how many more would they throw away to get what they sought above all else? Control of the orb, and soon after, control of this sister Earth. Once again, the fate of two worlds was up for the taking, and both sides fought like it. Jonas had been right. The enemy's superior fighting force did not seem so when narrowed in the throat of the tunnel between worlds. The doorway, like the one we defended in the aquarium, was our only advantage. There, at the blazing edge of the portal, We battled the army back for as long as we could. They lost many. We only a few, but a precious few. Clyde would not be the only aquatic to fall that day. But when one of them went down, the others fought all the harder to make up for the loss. Even still, we were eventually overwhelmed. We had never been fighting an army. We had been fighting the inevitable. However, just as we gave back, winged figures began to alight among us, to reinforce us. I thought it May and the Failwick sisters, but the number just kept growing. A whole flock of fully armed and armored strangels entered the fight. I didn't understand their sudden presence here, but I was sure glad for it. Even with the addition of these winged warriors, there was no routing the soldiers who had already come through the portal. But we did notice that no more followed them. That steady river of troops, the one we'd done our absolute best to dam as it flowed through the portal, was drying up at long last. Had they finally run out of bodies to throw at us? No, of course not. It was something else. Something horrible. While no more soldiers appeared through that space-bending valley between planets, something else did. Something gigantic. Blood-soaked and with a length of someone's intestines still draped over his wide shoulders, Og then materialized through the flaring light of the portal. He did not crawl, but stepped through. The giant was on his feet, and his footing was sound. He did not stagger or falter as before. The tranquilizer had worn off. But so too had he apparently gained full motor control of his cloned body. It had been this red colossus that disrupted the march of our enemy. There must have been heaps of mangled soldiers on the other side of the wormhole. But in their absence, we now had him to contend with. At the sight of the giant, the aerials and aquatics made a sudden, panicked withdrawal. They cowered in terror at the sight of him. Joseph and I, however, moved forward. We had gone to war with his kind, to rid this world of the Nephilim. We would not let our work be undone. Jonas and Piper moved to join us. We four stood defiantly in the giant's way. This far and no farther would he go. Og looked down at us. He pulled away the breathing mask that had obscured his hideous face. To worsen the sudden appearance of it, the monster then spread a foul grin. Then he did the most wretched, the most horrendous thing his kind has ever done to us. He spoke.
This world, mine. Die, damned wretch, the curse of her that bare thee. And as I thrust thy body in with my sword, so wish I might thrust thy soul to hell. Hence will I drag thee headlong by the heels unto a dunghill which shall be thy grave.
Just as the bard had driven himself through the portal, so too had he driven that bolt of metallic lightning through the giant. Our mechanical friend had lost the shield, but kept hold of the sword, the jagged blade of which now shone through the belly of Og, who reeled, anguished and stupefied, but did not fall. For as heavy a blow as he dealt our foe, the bard was himself even closer to destruction. The robot was, in every part of him save the breastplate, perforated with bullet holes. Refusing to move aside, he had withstood more firepower than was survivable. He'd held the door as long as he could, but was eventually trounced. He'd been thrown down, but not shut down. In their haste to get through the portal, the soldiers had not finished the job. They'd left him for dead, but he was only mostly so, not entirely so. Through the twisted hollows of the bard's wounds, we saw the sparking of severed wires and heard the grinding of now misaligned gears. His inner workings were wrecked. There would be no coming back from this amount of damage. No repairs could be made. This was his final moment. and the machine would make of it all that he could. Even from behind the giant, he saw Jonas and remembered his face as he had mine.
God's will, my liege. Would you and I alone, with help, more help, could fight this royal battle?
Og twisted suddenly. The blade of the sword remained where it was, but the hilt was torn from the hands of the bard. Whether the giant was to fight or flee the mechanical man, he was not given the chance to do either. With his claspers now freed, the bard closed them both on the monster, anchoring Og firmly in place. The giant wasn't the only one with a powerful, crushing grip. Try as he might, the giant could not wrest himself free.
Doomsday is near. Die all, die merrily.
What does...
He means there's more coming.
What do we do?
We must close the doorway.
Lynnzavieve, where'd you come from? Where's May?
With my sisters. Here, Jonas. I found this.
Oh, the orb. Thank God. Yes, close it. No, wait. We have to get the bard out of the way first.
Why? What happened? What happens to someone standing inside the wormhole when it collapses? Jonas?
I do not know. It's never been done.
He will be destroyed. They both will.
Do it. Close it now. It's what he wants.
It's not what he wants. He doesn't know what he wants. He thinks I'm his sister. I can't let him...
He's not a person, Lindsay. He's not. Right?
No. Not really.
So we're not letting someone die.
It is not Roderick in there. No.
We have to do something, like right now. The rest of that army is about to flood this canyon.
Look at him. He's done for anyway. You think he wants to be recaptured? To go back to being tortured? Person or not, he'd rather die. Believe me, I know.
Do it. Close the portal.
Very well.
For you, the city. Thus I turn my back.
There is a world elsewhere.
The wormhole collapsed upon them both, and both were vaporized. Between blinks, the pair of them were reduced to a thin mist that rose into the air and vanished. But that wasn't the shocking part. I'm sure you heard it too, listener. The true voice of Roderick Pendergast coming through at the very end. I remain convinced that it was not a man in there. At least, not the man he had been. Joseph had told me repeatedly that when the brain was resurrected, it was devoid of the previous mind. I believe that's true. But the bard had been around for quite a while now, plenty of time to become his own man, the kind who would die for his friends. As for Og, he was robbed of a second mortal shell and returned to his spirit form. But which side of the portal had he ended up on? Which world did he now haunt? In the absence of the portal, and with the battle now ended, darkness and quiet was restored to the canyon. With its mysterious power retracted to the orb, it alone shone in the gloom. Well, that and the eyes of the strangers. I then looked for a familiar pair, but did not see them.
Where's May? Why didn't she come down with you, Lynnzavieve? Why is she still up there with your sisters? What? You're scaring me. What is it?
Put down your weapons and shed your armor, my dear. I will take you to see her.
In a manic frenzy, I threw down and stripped off all the metal I had burdened to earth and back. I would have felt free, even relieved, except I was now oppressed with terror. Lynnzavieve took hold of me. Petite as I am, she alone was able to lift me, and in just a few wing flaps, she took us both to the top edge of the canyon. The rest of our group made the slower climb up the slope. I could see better up here, under the twin moonlight. May lay on the dusty ground with Lorgana and Lynnzavieve on either side of her. The two Ariels looked back at me, then rose and withdrew at my approach, their faces full of regret.
Why isn't she healed? You, Lorgana, you're the one with the power to... Why haven't you? Lynnzavieve, tell your sister to...
She has tried.
Tell her to try again.
I am so very sorry. What you ask for cannot be done.
What? Why? Oh, no, I don't accept that. May, honey, you awake? Come on, come now, you gotta get up. You gotta get up. We gotta get you some help, somewhere. I don't know where, but we gotta try.
There is nothing more to be done, Lindsay.
We're not giving up.
I cannot move.
Of course you can. You're the toughest woman I've ever known. Get up.
The fight is over.
No, it's not. It's never over. Not for us, not for you. Now get up.
Lindsay? Maevalesse? Well, what's happening? Why isn't she...
They can't fix her.
What do you mean? Why can't they? Oh, no. It's her time. This is my fault. This is all of my... I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
I already have, my friend.
No, I just lost a brother. I'm not losing my sister.
Sister, how blessed am I?
What?
Me, an unloved, unwanted orphan, to have found a sister, as well as a...
Maevalesse, I'm so very proud of you.
Thank you, Father.
May, no, I don't accept this. I won't. Wake up, May. Don't go. Don't leave us. Please, God, don't take her. Not yet. Please.
What dim light remained in her eyes went dark as her final breath slipped away, soundlessly.
May!
Maevalesse!
Wondrous.
The Creator be praised.
Oh, thank you.
I do not understand. What happened? Lindsay, what happened to me?
I thank you.
Maevalesse grabbed me, hugged me, tightly, tearfully, happily. The second most shocking thing to happen that night. The first was that my prayer was heard. May was returned to us, fully restored, as if her wound had never been. The resurrection of the dead was a miracle to shock even miracle workers. The Feowick sisters were thunderstruck, as were all the onlooking strangels and aquatics who had joined us but kept their distance. Even Jonas Gentry, who'd witnessed more of the unbelievable than any other present, couldn't believe what he was seeing. I didn't know it then, but this had never happened before in their collective history. Why the god of this world, of them all, had wielded his supreme power at the request of I guess I'll use Troxel's word, a nobody, was a mystery. And it was one the people here would question and debate, celebrate and, yes, even condemn. But more on that in a bit. The canyon, it was decided, was a good enough grave for the slain humans. The strangels and aquatics, however, collected their own dead and brought them out of the pit, preparing them for transport home. Like the people of the air, the people of the water had their own burial customs to be followed. Through Lynnzavieve, the aquatics asked us about Clyde. We could not offer them his body, sadly, only his story. As I said we would, our group ensured that our friend would never be forgotten. This did not fully satisfy the aquatics, however. They wanted to know more. They wanted to know everything. Not terribly surprising, considering it was their nature to know. We promised to tell them, but later. There would be plenty of time on our trek back. Because night had fallen already, we built a camp outside of the ravine. It had been a long day, to say the least. It wasn't until Joseph lay down beside me that he remembered Xiao's backpack. My husband had worn it since our flight from the Bunker of Babel, shouldering it all through the battle as well. He'd forgotten it was upon his back, just as I had Gentry's now destroyed sword. For as eager as he was to read through all those historical documents he'd stolen from the Cabal's archive, his exhaustion was undeniable. He pulled me close and held me tight. The pair of us were soon asleep. The next morning, our expedition set off for home. We did so with far more companions than we'd come with. The Ariels with us were free to fly, and we assumed they would, to see to the timely interment of their dead. However, they refused to be parted from us. Well, from one of us in particular. I noticed they seemed to orbit Lynnzavieve fairly closely, as if escorting her, protecting her. Aside from her sisters and husband, she'd never had a retinue before. It was odd, but the mystery would not linger long. We got an answer to it that night. Everyone got their answers that night. We set up camp in the evening, and there, around a fire, Joseph shared our story. We all gathered around to hear it. The Strangels wanted to know as much as the aquatics. With our translator signing in the language of the watery people and speaking in the tongue of her own, Lynnzavieve related everything my husband had to say. But when he, at long last, came to the part of the tale that our audience was present for, Joseph turned to Lynnzavieve. Then the interpreter became the storyteller. Lynnzavieve and her sisters had been just as astounded as the rest of us when the Strangel reinforcements arrived. I hadn't realized it until later, but the flock was made up exclusively of Ariels. Their ability for true flight had ensured their hasty arrival to the canyon. If they had tried to bring any of the amalgams, who were capable only of gliding, they would have reached us too late. Our reinforcements had found the Phaoix family outside the canyon with May and landed there first before they came to assist us, just long enough to tell Lynnzavieve why they had come. The reason was a tremendous one, but the big news had not yet been shared with the rest of us. Lynnzavieve had spoken only to her husband and sisters during the day's travel and had spent most of it in a state of ponderous, prayerful quiet. But now she was ready to break the silence. This is what the Ariel told us. Not long after our departure from the mountain, the Strangel prophets and prophetesses had at last been given their vision of the new High Cleric. Remember, the people of the mountain had spent years waiting for this divine appointment, ever since the death of their last High Cleric, Rendarja, patriarch of the Phaoix clan and father to Lynnzavieve, Lorgana, and Lynnzavieve. He was also a widower, his wife, their mother, having died long ago. The winged people had been made to wait so long that they grew impatient and created the temporary position of the Keeper, appointing first Bruce and then May. But that office was no longer necessary, as a High Cleric had finally been revealed. The role was to remain in the Phaoix family and pass to the eldest daughter, to Lynnzavieve. The aquatics made excited hand gestures to this announcement, their form of congratulations, no doubt. The new High Cleric signed her thanks in return. Joseph and I were no less enthusiastic in our well wishes, but made them audibly, of course. Lynnzavieve thanked us as well. May, however, said nothing. She simply smiled serenely and nodded, happy to have her role dissolved happier still to have a true leader for their people. When this vision was proclaimed back on the mountain, it had been decided that a protective force must be dispatched at once to locate and accompany Lynnzavieve, who'd gone off on a dangerous mission. And that's how we'd ended up with the auxiliary fighters we so desperately needed, what had saved this world from invasion. I had to wonder if this is why the vision had been withheld for so long, and why it had finally come when it did. Was it for our deliverance? So that we could be rescued in our darkest hour? If that mountaintop presence was truly supreme over all creation, he did not experience time as we do, did not experience it at all, but dwelt outside of it, perceiving the whole of time at once. In a podcast that routinely tackles the concept of time travel and the paradoxes it creates, this was beyond the finite minds of us mortals. But she wasn't done yet. Lynnzavieve adopted a more solemn tone as she continued. The High Cleric had also been informed that when her ordination was announced to their populace back in the castle, the reactions were not as cheerful as our own. While many celebrated this revelation of a new leader and a new era, there were those who doubted it, questioned it. The open members of the cadre, and even those who were quietly sympathetic to their side, found the timing of the vision to be suspicious. It's important to remember that these were the people who had called for the banishment of Jonas Gentry. But now, here was his wife, the woman who had gone with him into exile and back again, their new High Cleric, a position previously held by her own father. Like May's resurrection, this was apparently another first for this world. There were a lot of people who refused to accept either. If they doubted the legitimacy of the vision and of Lyndzavieve's ascension, you better believe they had a problem with the amalgam being brought back from the dead. They would ask why her, and not any of those aerials or aquatics killed in the canyon bloodbath. Needlessly killed, mind you. Unlike previous conflicts, this one had been entirely avoidable. We did not need to attack the Bunker of Babel, but us humans had pushed for it. And, of course, whereas there had been Strangel deaths, all of us humans had made it back alive. What's worse, now we had one more with us. Piper would have to live here now. She, like Joseph and I, had no world to go back to. Anyway, I tell you all of this, listener, so that you can imagine what kind of homecoming awaited us. Our return was a swift one. Once we made it back to the ocean, we found that the Leviathan had recovered enough to burden us once more. The aquatics escorted us air breathers back along the coast and up the river. We bade our allies farewell, then parted ways. We'd returned to the mountain, to the castle, but it didn't feel the same as before. It didn't feel like home. We'd brought something back with us that maybe should have stayed behind. Our story, the one we had told to everyone in our expedition. When it was retold and allowed to circulate among the Strangels, when they learned just how close their world had come to a full-scale invasion from Earth, they were incensed. The contempt for us Earthlings seemed to grow with each passing day. I would have preferred the anger remain leveled at Joseph and I, but Jonas, the original lightning rod of the cadre's fury, was once again struck, more unfairly now than before. So much so that even the history of the man was to be revised through the lens of his detractors. For instance, the original giants, who'd come here in ancient times, had built spacecraft to return to their own world, but Jonas had helped bring one of them down only for the occupants to eventually waken and attack the mountain, the recovery from which was still ongoing. Jonas should have just let the abominations return to their own world, to plague humanity. Whether the cadre knew it or not, they would get their wish, eventually, as only one of the twin vessels was stopped from making a return to Earth. And of course, it was also Jonas who had sent May and the others through the portal when the prophecy of an apocalyptic Circle City was given to their seers. This vision was now in doubt as well. There had been nothing but death and destruction since they disinterred the orb from the tomb of Pendergast in their crypt, the presence of which is its own source of contention. Those who had gone on that initial journey to Earth, Zolanway, Vladorwyn, Remy, all had been killed. Even May had, technically. I can't imagine how much worse our situation would have been had she remained that way. It was a mercy twofold that she had been sent back to us. As I said it would, her resurrection created problems for us. There were those who doubted it, of course, but worse than that, there were those who believed it but denounced it as an abomination, as an affront to the natural order. So, a false miracle, not performed by their mountaintop god, but by me. They claimed that I had somehow used evil earthly magic to bring her back. There was even a rumor floating around that I'd somehow learned or stolen sorcery from the Grimalkin to do this. It reflected as poorly, if not more so, on my amalgam sister than it did me. That's the part that really makes me so angry. There are those who avoid her now, even pull their children away, as if she's some cursed thing. Dogged by this absurd rumor and no longer holding the position of the keeper, us Earthlings could no longer rely on May to guarantee our place here. We were, however, under the charge of Lynnzavieve now. As the High Cleric, she could likely keep her husband safe, despite the blame he continually took, as well as their children, who would soon be rejoining their parents here in their rightful home. Maybe the Ariel could even find a permanent place for Piper, who was guilty, so far, only of being human. As for Joseph and I, well, we are on shaky ground now. The community is turning against us. Sure, we have Lynnzavieve in our corner, but with her authority in question, we've been given little more than a reprieve from banishment. Or at least the call for banishment. Could they force us to go? Not without a fight. But then Joseph and I would face the same crisis Jonas had before he had gone willingly into exile. That is, to remain here risked sparking a civil war among the winged people. And we had fought too hard for this place to let it be torn apart from within. Joseph and I loved it here. But did we love it enough to leave?
Where could we even go?
Oh, baby, I don't even know.
I don't suppose there's any other planets mentioned in the books, are there?
No, I'm afraid not.
What about in the new book? The one you stole?
Couldn't say. Haven't even cracked it yet.
Have you looked at any of it? All the stuff you took from...
I haven't even taken it out of the backpack yet, if you can believe it.
Why not?
I'm not sure, honestly. I guess I'm afraid of what I might find. But anyway, there's plenty of time to read through it.
Maybe. I hope there is.
Yeah.
If they do run us out of here, could we go live on that peninsula, you think? Like Jonas and his family did?
Do I think the aquatics will give us sanctuary? I don't know. After Clyde and the others, they may not be so accommodating.
Somewhere else, then. It's a big world. Bigger than ours, you said. Anywhere has to be better than the alternative.
You mean going home?
Even with the wormhole tracker destroyed, using the orb will be difficult. If we don't cross over somewhere remote, we risk being seen. The portal's not exactly subtle, is it? If we are spotted, that's it. We're done for.
How so?
If the portal is seen, what is the person gonna do? They're gonna film it with their phone, post it, and boom, the whole internet, the whole world, including the Cabal, knows we've come back and where to start looking for us.
And even if we do slip away, we will be looking over our shoulders for the rest of our lives.
Right. They'll never stop hunting us. And they may not even need the PX-39. Not when they still have Hardesty. What's to keep him from making another one for the Cabal?
He wouldn't. Why would he?
To keep our friends safe. Troxel's dead. She's the one who made the deal with Hardesty for their lives. For all we know, it's off now. Keith and the rest might have targets on their backs. Sylvia might. Do you think that could be true?
Maybe. After the blow we dealt them in the Bunker of Babel, maybe.
So, we should use the orb to extract our people from Earth, right?
Except they probably would not be welcomed among the Strangels.
Then we get our people here and go off and do our own thing, somewhere far away from this place. We'll build our own community.
Oh, Lindsay, I really don't think that would...
Well, we have to do something. We have to fix our mistake.
We shouldn't have gone. Shouldn't have attacked their base. That's what you mean, isn't it? Again, I am sorry. I am so sorry, Lindsay. I shouldn't have kept from you what I did. I really didn't have a plan. I just wanted a chance to...
I know, Joseph.
I hope you also know that I wasn't trying to deceive you. My head was clouded. I thought I was...
We've been over this. It's okay.
Just what?
I miss the old days, when the worst thing you lied about was having a part-time job.
Yeah, simpler times, huh?
I'm starting to think they might be right about us. Maybe we are the problem. Clearly, we don't know where to go, but I think we should. I think it's the right thing to do, to leave, for the sake of this world and its people. Should we?
I don't know, sweetheart. Maybe.
While exploring the Bunker of Babel with the friend we'd liberated, while she had caught us up on so much of what we'd missed, Piper had mentioned that there was more yet to be said, but that it would have to wait until later. Well, it was later now. Weeks later. I don't think she'd been waiting to speak with us. She was not biding her time. No, she'd simply forgotten, having been captivated by the pristine beauty and wonder of this sister Earth. I hoped that, even if Joseph and I had to leave, she would be permitted to remain. She could find peace here. Peace she'd earned. Eventually, when she'd remembered, Piper asked to talk, in private, upon the castle wall. It had become one of her favorite places with its commanding view of the realm. The Strangels had given her garments to wear, so now Piper was clothed as I was, in flowing medieval raiment. We'd spent years seeing her in only a skirted diner uniform with a stained apron and a name tag, but now she was gowned and radiant. She looked like a queen standing at the battlements.
It's even better than they described it, huh, Mr. Leck?
It very much is, yes.
Who is she?
The Pendergast Chroniclers.
Ah, right. You read the books.
I did.
Coming here is extra special for those who have.
It sure is.
And I'll bet meeting Jonas, Gentry, and Lynnzavieve and the others was pretty crazy too, huh, Piper?
It was, yeah. But meeting Charlie Winston was even crazier.
Wait, what?
What did you say?
You met him?
The deathless Charlie Winston? When? Where?
During the fall of Circle City, when everything went belly up. Callista and I were on the run, just trying to stay alive. Between the dead and Heartland security, I'm surprised we got as far as we did. But then we came across some people. They were trapped on a city bus. Callista wanted to keep moving, but I insisted we help. Do good, fight evil, repeat, and all that. Anyway, it was a whole thing, and I got a broken rib for my trouble. So I was hurting pretty bad. Plus, we had a group to look after now. It was hard. They slowed us down. Callista and I were trying to get them somewhere safe, but a horde of those creatures cut us off and backed our group into a corner. We were pretty much done for. Except that this man showed up. This Old West outlaw.
So Winston hasn't modernized? He's still dressing like a cowboy?
Yeah, kind of ridiculous looking, but...
But what?
No one's gonna tell him that. He's terrifying. Mr. Leck, do you remember how, in the books, he's described as not really having his own, but rather dragging around the shadow of death behind him?
Yes, of course. Oh. The writers were not being poetic, were they?
Not really, no.
What did he do?
He drew his guns. A couple of old-style revolvers. And, well, it's easy enough to imagine.
Then what?
Then he tipped his hat and kept moving.
But you're sure it was him?
Brian asked me the same thing. If you ever see him, you'll know. Believe me. Besides, there were the birds.
Ah, The birds that are not birds.
You saw them. The trio of vultures circling above him.
Just like in the books. Yeah.
Why did he go to Circle City? And why then?
Why else? To find Grindel.
So Grindel spends decades there waiting for Winston, preparing for his arrival, to at long last have his revenge on the man who killed him and his mother. And they what? Just missed each other?
Mostly because of our interference in their story, yeah. Maybe someday they'll get their chance.
Hopefully not. Hopefully both stay trapped where they are. Grindel in the Bunker of Babel, and Winston in Circle City, which... how is he even surviving in there? If it's quarantined and cut off, where is he?
In a familiar place. The cavern beneath the Pendergast estate. Remember, he lived there with Adelaide and her family for a time. He's the one who dug the secret passageway.
So he knows how to get in. Wait, didn't we have Hardesty seal that closed?
That's not going to stop him. Besides, he can swim it if he needs to.
Through the fountain, right. Oh no. Wait, what about the...
The devil doll. Yeah, I just thought about that too.
From the repository?
We moved it to the cavern for safekeeping. The devil doll escaped in the process, but we managed to recapture him.
Not sure who will be more scared of who, but at least Winston will have some company down there.
And he'll be comfortable too.
Living with a possessed puppet?
She means the Pendergast cosmic ray engine, the last in existence now that the Bard is gone.
Oh, right. There was one in the cavern that powered everything. You left it intact?
We discussed destroying it, but never did. We do that with lots of things. But now the Cabal may go for it, especially since we took the Bard from them.
Maybe. Maybe not if they know that Winston is living there.
Do they really fear just one man?
You really still haven't read the books yet, Lindsay?
Not yet.
Let's just say that the toll that we took on the Bunker of Babel pales in comparison to the toll he took on the place.
I thought it was Jonas who attacked them.
He did, and afterward they built the aquarium in case he tried again. But after Winston, after the immortal outlaw's visit there, well...
There was no preparing for a second attack from him.
Got it. Anyway, back to your story, Piper. What happened after your brush with Winston?
We had to split up. Callista led our group to safety, to the edge of town where they could be evacuated.
Did she get out too?
I'm sure she did, one way or another. You know her. But first, she had to get back to her little control room.
What control room?
I couldn't be part of the official evacuation.
Heartland Security would have caught you trying to leave the city.
Right. So I had an idea.
To use their sarcophagus, to go to sleep.
To try my luck in the future, like you said.
So Callista had to operate the sarcophagus remotely.
She set a timer. I asked her to give me a year. I woke up to an empty city. I tried to figure out what happened to everyone.
Did you go back to the diner? To your secret observation booth?
Oh no, I couldn't bear to see the place again. I went back to the hideaway instead.
Hideaway? Oh, you mean the secret offices of Keith's old detective agency.
Where we left the body of...
Operative 5 Co. Yeah, I found him. Well, his reanimated corpse anyway. How did he? Did one of you...
Hardesty killed him. Did you...
Kill him again? Yes. I put a bullet in his forehead. We were colleagues, but I never liked the guy. You know, they actually sent him to the diner to give me a talking to. Our employers were starting to suspect that I was slipping in my duties, that I'd been undercover too long and was going native, as he put it.
Oh, right. I think you actually mentioned that, back when you saved us from those mercenaries.
And that's when you stopped hearing the podcast. So you didn't know about Hardesty.
I asked Ryan about him when he called me during the fall. I was hoping Hardesty could help me.
Did Ryan tell you what happened? Or did Keith when he found you?
All I gathered was that Hardesty wasn't with them anymore.
Yes, that's right. Do you remember us mentioning earlier that Hardesty gave them Grindel?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, when he did that, Hardesty offered himself to the Cabal as well. In exchange, Keith, Carolyn, and Ryan got to go free.
And you two had to come here. To paradise.
If you think it's been easy for us, it hasn't. We had to fight for all this.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Sorry, I didn't mean to suggest.
It's fine. You're right, though.
This is a better world. I'm not sure I'd even recognize ours anymore.
You haven't been gone that long, Lindsay.
And we saw Circle City after the...
That's not what I mean. A catastrophe of that magnitude? It would have had ripple effects across the entire globe. Piper, you haven't been out of Circle City since it happened, right? Not until you went back to sleep and woke up in the Bunker of Babel?
Yeah, that's right.
So you don't know how much the world has changed since then.
I guess I don't.
The Cabal pretended to contain a plague. We know that was their plan. But that's not the contagion we need to worry about. The real threat has already spread beyond Circle City and is making its way to every corner of the Earth.
The closed circle solution. It was only the beginning. The catalyst.
The Cabal is coming out of the shadows now, to rule in the light of day, to remake the world before the return of the Nephilim in 2060.
Ah, yeah. Speaking of the future...
What?
The thing I needed to talk to you guys about, it's the Dreamcatcher.
What about it?
Callista told you where she was going to hide it.
Yeah, but I'm sure Sylvia cut it or bleeped it from the episode. Like she would have your your old name.
So it should still be there, right? Safe and sound?
I imagine it's still there, yeah. But the Dreamcatcher is neither safe nor sound. Not in a city quickly falling into ruin, with the living dead roaming about.
If Hardesty is right about how important it is, or how much damage it can cause to reality, then...
We've got to move it into someplace secure.
Like your vault.
Like my vault, where it will be found in the future.
Oh, right. That last story you published. The one I used to find out you lived in an old bank. That guy in the future found the Dreamcatcher in your vault and...
And we've got to make sure it's there for him to find years from now, since it's been ordained to happen, according to Hardesty's theory about the temporal paradox created by learning of future events.
His finding it is another one of those pillars in the Temple of Reality, you mean?
Anybody else getting really sick of this crap?
What are you guys...
Do you know for sure that Callista hid the Dreamcatcher where she planned to?
Yes. I was with her when she put it in the...
No, stop. Don't say it.
Why?
Just in case Sylvia doesn't bleep it out.
What does it matter?
If this audio is released before we can get to the Dreamcatcher, the Cabal will try to get to it.
How would this be released first?
Our excursion back to Circle City for the Dreamcatcher is going to take planning, but in the meantime we've got to get these recordings back to Earth. We could cross over somewhere outside of town, somewhere with an internet connection.
And get the audio to Sylvia in the same way we did with Season 4, by using the laptop and uploading it to the drive. But what if the Cabal are expecting that? They may have hacked into...
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, if we just email the files to her or something simpler like that.
It's still risky, though.
But not quite as risky as trying to get a hard drive into her hands.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well, did it?
But it still made it to her, even if indirectly.
What are you talking about?
Season 5 made it to Sylvia, and she released it.
How?
The Cabal gave her the hard drive.
How do you know that? You haven't been...
They mentioned it during my interrogations. I wouldn't have believed them if not for what Keith told me.
That the Cabal have control of the podcast now.
And all of our friends with it?
Well, I don't think we can just drop off our new season and count on the Cabal delivering it to Sylvia. Not this time. Things are different now. We just dealt them a humiliating defeat. They don't want the world to hear that, especially now. No, we have to get it to her ourselves.
Unless they get to Sylvia first. You can bet the gloves are coming off.
So we shouldn't even try?
Oh no, you should. You have to. This may be your most important season ever. You must get the message out.
What message?
That they can be defeated. If people know that it's even possible, they will fight back.
Right. Okay, let's try it your way, Joseph. We'll cross over somewhere with an internet connection and...
Yes, but first we need to record all of your narrations and the titles and a recap for season...
Right.
But what about our trip back? Do we need to try to record that like we've done before?
We don't need to bother. If our listeners are hearing this,
then they already know we were successful. They'll know we got the audio to Sylvia and then escaped back here. But what they also need to know is this. We will be coming back again, and soon. But this time it's to stay. I think it very likely that at long last, Joseph and I are coming home.
Do good, fight evil, repeat. I'm Lindsay Leck, and this is the Endless Elsewhere podcast.